Delia Parker-Mims has served as the chair of Denton County Democratic Party since 2021. Under her leadership, the county has increased Democratic voter turnout, driven new registrations, and inspired a growing force of volunteers. Her proven thought leadership and strategic direction inspire, engage, and promote political parties, communities, and organizations.
Thank you.
I want to say Delia.
That's right.
Just first name. Welcome.
Well, good afternoon. Good evening, right? I'm so happy to see you guys. I always love coming to, is it Robson or Robson? Robson. I always say Robson. Okay.
So does Siri.
Because that's how it's spelled. And I just go by how it's spelled. So forgive me, because in my mind I see it like that, but I'll try to remember Robson. You guys won the Blue Dot Award, right?
Ooh.
Because you guys are a blue dot in a sea of a bunch of red shit, right? But you show up and you keep fighting and actually teach us what it means to keep fighting. I'm only going to spend a little time here today talking. I don't have a real prepared speech, but we're going to talk about Project 2026 and some of the reasons why we're here. Let me introduce one of our most important people in this project. We have Danica and Tony. Would you guys please stand up? Danica is our field director. Tony is our social media manager. And those are I think two of the most important areas, like 1 and 2. Because voters are on Facebook, voters are on social media, and in the field is how we get new people to come. And they both do an excellent job of that. We have increased everything that we've done since I've sat in this chair. And I'll say of November of 2021, so it wasn't the complete year. But we still got a lot left. So I'm excited about what we have to do. We've elevated everything that we've participated in, and we're gonna keep doing that moving forward. So you guys are here, tell me why you're here. Someone quickly, raise your hand, tell me why you're here tonight. It certainly can't be because you're scared, because you're a blue dot in a red ocean.
I'm scared.
I mean, scared, yes. Not of being here, but of what's happening, right?
Well, I'm getting afraid of this. I feel very isolated these days.
Yeah.
For the last, 10 years.
Yeah.
It feels a little isolating. That people you knew your whole life don't understand you anymore. And you're like, I don't think I changed. I think maybe
Right.
you
You didn't. You didn't.
Yeah.
Ma'am, LaBelle?
I'm here for the future of my children and grandchildren.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to focus on the redistricting of Texas.
Yeah.
That's what I'm here for. I want to listen to
Yeah.
that and get excited.
Well, I'm gonna try to do that. No, the
Did you hear what
redistricting.
he said?
No, what he said.
You're already excited.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. That's the first I've heard you speak. That's good. It's already good. I'm here because I'm scared too. That's why I keep doing what I'm doing. And I'm not just scared. I am scared, but not really, but scared. But angry, I'm scared because of what's, not because I'm scared of them, because I know this ain't gonna work out the way they thought. You know what I mean? We're not gonna be pushed in a corner, stripped of our personal autonomy. You take my personal autonomy, now you're taking my voice, and then they're basically saying, I'm gonna pee on you and make you say, enjoy the rain, right? It is not raining. But what I'm saying is, and I don't advocate violence, I don't believe in guns, I don't own guns, I don't have anything against people who do. I started thinking about getting a gun, and if you know me, you know that's a big deal. Because I'm not a gun person. I went through menopause and I didn't need a gun at that time. And that's not a joke. I was grateful I didn't have a gun. But now I'm grateful I don't have a gun because I am in a state of rage. And the blonder I do my hair, the more rage I get. My son thinks that the blonde is what does it.
Possible.
He says I try to be nice when I have darker hair. I don't know, because I'm in a rage today. And it is the gerrymandering, the fear. I read something, where I saw a man say that white women were their wokeness, they were traitors to their party, and they needed to be happy that the men were. They needed to be happy that white men were the ones that were doing whatever it is they're doing because they know what's best for them. And when I read that, and it was fairly recent, I just stepped back and I was like, so this is where we're at, right? So really, it is done with intent and purpose. And those of us who think it's racial are far off. I mean, there's some of that in there, but it is the top versus the bottom, and the people don't realize that. And more than there's racism in the world. I'm not Tim Scott. I'm not going to sit up on TV. You know, I don't have a key to my cage, and I think that when they let those black Republicans come out and say there's no racism, that's their job at that moment. And then they get put back in their cage. You never saw Tim Scott after Trump won. See, I'm raging right now, I'm sorry. But the fact of the matter is, it's outrageous, right, what's happening. And so we've been effective in our party. I've been an effective chair. And so that's partly why I'm still chair, right? It is the most thankless job on earth. But we are organized. We are increasing turnout. We're the largest county in the freaking state to increase turnout. Because we're scared and we're raging and we're doing what's necessary to win. Right now, you would think this was November of 2026, but it's not. We're starting Project 26 now, and it needs to feel like the election has already started. So that is why we're here, and that's why we're still organizing, and that's why I'm still chair. Because we have been effective, and it is about winning, and it's about getting us in a position to do that. And so I think we're moving in that direction. So that's why I'm here. And men, why are you here in the background? I see the two of you right there. Yes, you too. Why are you here?
My daughter is very active in Austin, and we'd like to help support not only her but the Democratic Party as a whole. And I was very close to never moving out to Robson Ranch when I saw all the red in 2024, and so now I'd like to see if there's maybe a way we can kind of do some things around a little bit.
Well, it starts with being boldness, and that's a lot that you guys here actually can teach some of us that are not at Robson Ranch, because we've got to start being bold. We've got to use our channels, our stations to combat misinformation. You can't sit around and wait for the party. Well, what is the party going to do? If it's in your circle group, your chat group, your speaking group, if you're a Democrat, you are part of the party. If you wear that label, you are the party. And you have to combat that misinformation, and it is incumbent upon you to combat that. Tony, do you have any comments on that?
Absolutely, yes. The misinformation, we need to meet people where they are. And right now, a third of people under 30 are getting all of their political news from social media. And if you account for everybody, 50% of voters are getting it from social media. And it's being flooded with misinformation, with propaganda from these right-wing packs. And every time that they're talking about it, and we are just scrolling and just saying, this is stupid, these people are dumb, and nobody is combating that, then people are just only seeing the misinformation. And
right.
You have to fight it every day. You can't wait until November or October of 26 to start your information, because the information warfare started 10 years ago.
Yeah, it started a long time ago. And a lot of the voters here in this area are on Facebook. A lot. That's where a lot of the voters are, honestly. Trump won in 2016 on Facebook. But you do have to get involved, and if that's the least you can do, that's still a lot. Because in your circle group, and it's not, I want to convince somebody I don't know. It's the people you know. Those are the people that you have influence over, that you need to combat misinformation. When they're making all these claims, just stop and say, how exactly are Christians being persecuted? Well, that person. Well, give me an example of how that happened in your life. When did a drag queen break into your house to rape your daughter? You know.
It was the bathroom at the Target.
Oh, it was the bathroom at the Target, right? We have to start doing those kinds of things. And so one thing I want you guys to leave with is knowing is that you have to be empowered yourselves in your circles, okay? In your circles, that's what changes the world. Because it is relational campaigning that actually wins, right? But it's not campaigning, but it's relational networking and talking with each other. And when they hear it from you and they see who you are, that helps. So yes, I feel your fear, ma'am, and you are not alone. And if you're an empath, like I tend to be an empath, and I'm sure a lot of us do. I know Danica does. Every she gets really overloaded. And
That's become a dirty word too. I've been told, oh, you're an empath. Like it was a...
Like that's a bad thing.
Or like being awake is bad.
I was like,
Yeah.
sorry.
right.
Don't. We don't apologize.
I don't know.
Being woke is bad, right? Being woke. And I like to think of
Whatever that means.
yeah, whatever that means. I don't even know what woke means, to be honest with you. But I was called woke just because I was on the ballot. My skin don't make me woke. I'm probably one of the most
You're not
conservative.
actually woke either.
I'm not gonna say I'm one of the most conservative people you would actually meet. But you're calling me woke? I am like far from woke. I married my first and only boyfriend. Okay, first of all, that makes me weird. But I am certainly not woke. But that's a lot what we're battling. So the other day I did a keynote at the NAACP, and their title of their thing was "We Have More Work to Do." And I thought, what a weird title, right? Surely there is no one who doesn't think we have more work to do. Certainly there's no woman out there who doesn't believe that they want to have as many rights as their husband, and they're good with not having their rights. We hope there's no huge amount of people in the LGBT community who thinks we don't have more work to do to understand for us to let people be their authentic self. We have more work to do. And then I realized it's not just about more work to do that people need. They need to be inspired and to remember why we're doing it, and the fact that we can be successful, and we have been successful, and we can be successful and to move forward. Because we have to get refueled, right? We have to be refueled, because after that election, I thought, certainly Harris is gonna win. She's increasing turnout because she's letting independents, she's talking to Republicans, and she still lost. But do you know who elected Trump? Democrats and progressives who didn't vote for Harris. The people who think they like democracy, but couldn't just pull the trigger on a woman being president. Oh, we didn't know enough about her, but you knew everything you needed to know about him.
Disgusting. That's what we're calling on phone bank.
What?
Nice transition. That's the people we're calling on this phone bank. The
Oh,
people
yeah.
statewide that are Democrats that didn't vote for Coleman.
Yeah,
That's
so
who we're calling until December.
And that's something that we want to talk about with Project 2026. Thank you, Danica, because you can do something. Now, we talked about how you can get involved in social media, you can do that, and don't think you're not doing something, because you are. So many people see my social media, but they don't want to say anything, but I know they see it because they look at me crazy when I go out. And then they say stuff. I know they see it, but I'm like, you couldn't like it though, right? But combating misinformation is something I want y'all to really think about and take personally. If you can't do anything else, that's the first thing that you can do, because misinformation is really the number one reason why people who don't have terrible intent think that way. The other thing is, we're starting with our project, we call it Project 2026. I saw that the National Party said, we need to get our Project 2026 ready. And I thought, wow, are they looking at Denton? We should take the lead. We've actually been taking the lead in the state of Texas when it comes to getting organized, getting people on the phone, and doing the hard work. But now that we have a new state chair, and we are all trying to work together and teach our county parties how to get out the vote and increase turnout. And in some of the really rural and red areas, it just feels hopeless. But what we're doing is we're working together on phone banks. Now, I think, Jane, you might have already brought some phone banks here, but when we're working with the state of Texas doing phone banking, we're all working together and we'll be targeting an area. And eventually that area is gonna be our area. But the idea is we have to work together and we have to get organized and we have to start today, no other time. Because there is more work to do. The big, beautiful bill, big, bad bullshit. Yeah, we're not in church, right? But I'm a Christian. I'm the Jesus Christian, not the MAGA. But it nonetheless, it brings, that big, beautiful bill is going to create a lot of problems, Medicaid, right? And when we don't personalize it, we think it's okay, but people are gonna start suffering. I'm gonna tell you what that looked like. For me, my mom, some people know my mom passed recently, and we were gonna have to use Medicaid. So when I think about people having to struggle, you know, with a stroke survivor, you know, having to spin down stuff, having to go into a nursing home, we have to go to and use Medicaid. When you cruelly do something to decrease that, but you're spending $40 million on a stupid military parade where nobody was even marching, looked worse than my high school band parade. It did. It literally looked worse than that. You're ghetto-fying the White House. Have y'all seen his plans on the gold? Dug up the rose garden. Doesn't sound like a person ready to leave, right? So what I've been telling people and why I'm upset, and you guys are upset for good reason too, is because it's not going to end well. The American Revolution started for less. And so I'd like to talk to people who are independents and normal Republicans, if they exist. Yeah. We have to learn to govern together. Because taking away our autonomy, taking away gerrymandering our districts so that we don't have a political voice, that only ends one way. And I'm not saying that to be mean, I'm saying that they have got to stop. And if we have to do it, we've got to do it, we've got to start now. So now what we need to do with Project 26 is we're building our army. And it's a big army, an army with many different areas where you can participate. Starting with working with the state. If you don't want to leave your home, you could work with them and do phone banking, because we're going to be calling rural areas. And we're going to be calling those Democrats who didn't vote and those people who lean in that way who didn't vote and saying, hey, you know, what's up? Why didn't you vote? We need to remind you what's going on. We were right. It wasn't about Hillary, it was about the Supreme Court. We were right. They gutted Roe v. Wade. We were right. He said out of his mouth, you won't have to vote again. Y'all remember that? Yeah. He said it. Yeah. And they want to pretend that we're still woke and being dramatic and emotional. The man is imprinting on the White House because he don't plan on leaving. So we've got to get and do what we've got to do. So first thing we need is also people working on our campaigns. Not DCDPs, but candidates. They need treasurers. Okay, that's the basic things. And you don't have to be a math wizard, and we do provide training, but candidates who are running, and our candidates that are running in Denton County, they're gonna start filing, and they're gonna be coming to us and saying, we need people to support us, and we need treasurers. And what that means is you fill out a report. I think you're gonna end up filling out 4 reports. Money comes in, what goes out. You don't have to be exact science, you just gotta get it done on timely. You can either get it submitted and it's not even remotely correct, as long as you got it submitted and then you amend it, you get someone to help you. Is there anybody in here who thinks that might be something they would be interested in doing? That is a critical position that a lot of candidates need, is someone to stand up and say, I'll be your treasurer. Okay. I've never been a treasurer because I don't do math, which is weird. I got A's in all my math classes, but I don't balance anything, so I'm not anybody. But nonetheless, you don't have to be that exact to be a treasurer, but it helps the candidates, and we've got to find people to be bold. And some of you in here can become candidates and can get out there and advocate for the issues and the things that we support. Right now, it's not about saying I'm a Democrat, it's about talking about our values. Because we've always won on the values. And we lose when we try to make it about Republican or Democrat. But when we say, I just kind of like the idea that my child can have health care till 26. Yeah, that's a good idea. But if you say, well, the Democrats want that, they don't want that. So we got to start talking about values. Anybody in here interested in running for office or know anyone who would be good? Don't put your head down, ma'am. I'm not gonna. We just found out that a lunatic is running for State Board of Education. Of course, they all are, right? So you guys are saying to me, what's new? I get it. But we need people on the ballot because our hope is that in people's hearts, they know this isn't right. The mayor of Denton went to Austin to tell people he doesn't believe that Democrats deserve a voice. And so I've been on his ass. Okay? And because I can be on his ass. He's a black man, so I'm on his ass. That was ridiculous. You're an elected official in a supposedly nonpartisan race, and you went to Austin and said, I want to shut out the voices of Democrats. Did you guys know that the Denton City Council is mostly progressive? So what he was saying was not even true. So to sit there and say, we need more Republicans in the city of Denton, that this gerrymandering is good, I'm going to be honest with you right now. He's using his black face so that when we go to court and say it's racist, they can say, well, the black mayor supported it. Tim Scott is on the circuit now because now we're talking about gerrymandering, and the only thing that's illegal is illegal is you can't gerrymander based on race. But when you use the word partisanship and you say, I'm going to go to Houston, I'm going to tear up Houston. Who are you tearing up? When you say, I want to cut Jasmine Crockett out of her district and put her with the other black guy that won and make those two run against each other, it becomes a race issue. So today, I'm doing something I've never done. I've never been a candidate that ever dealt with race. I've never been a black candidate. I've been a candidate because I don't believe in identity politics. I do not. That's how you get Clarence Thomas. That is not how you get Thurgood Marshall, right? That's how you get Kristen Sinema. Oh, she's LGBT, she supports us. Did she? No. Because you're too busy looking at identity instead of looking at what these motherfuckers believe. And right now, as an elected official in this county, I'm doing something that I have never done before, and I'm talking about race because that motherfucker should not have gone to Austin, and I'm fucking pissed about that. Because he's done that to try to get rid of our lawsuits. When we take them to court for redistricting, they're using his face and his words to beat that lawsuit so they can say it was not about race. And so I personally take that personal, and I can stand here and I will say that to his face. If you know me, you know that I say to your face. I am not afraid of Republicans. I have never been, and I don't ever look for their favor. And right now, what they're doing is outrageous. And so yes, I'm here, I'm gonna apologize, I'm about to wrap it up. We need people to volunteer. We need you on social media. We have volunteer slots. Danica needs you to put you in one of our groups. If you don't want to block walk, you don't want to phone bank, I'm sure she'll find something for you to do. I know you've been dealing with Jane. Have you been doing phone banking down here? Are you at that last?
We did a little bit last year, but we're going to be talking tonight about getting people involved with this.
Right, because we got to start now. And the other thing is, you guys really do have the best precinct chairs in the party. You really do. Y'all are always awesome. And y'all volunteerism from Robson is great, as well as your financial support is great. You guys definitely are the blue dot in the Red Sea, and you make us all proud. And we really should learn courage from you guys, because this is something. I mean, when I came in here now and had to say who we are, I thought about election time when people come here to vote. Do they have to go through that gated security? I know it's comfortable. I know it's comfortable. I know you guys like it. I like that you guys can vote, but that still is bullshit. The old black people and Hispanics in my neighborhood have to figure out where to go vote. And I'm happy, but this is a Republican voting ground, and that's why your precinct gets to stay here. So We're also working hard on our vote centers. Jane has taken the extraordinary lead on that, and I stayed away because I don't want it to be partisan, because it's not partisan. And getting people access to voting is important. So if there are not areas that you feel comfortable, that is another area I'm sure you could have more voices. You could go to the commissioner's court and continue to create the havoc that is necessary to get them to finally realize that we're being held hostage. We're the only county around that doesn't have vote centers where you can vote anywhere on election day. My daughter always waits to the last minute to vote, and she knows that she has to go to her precinct, but not every young person does. And so that is designed and it's purposeful. So there are many different ways you can participate. Raise your hand if you'll be at the LBJ. All right, I'm taking a picture, so I'm gonna come by everybody's table. I always come by. If you can't be there, but you want to be present and want to be a part of it, become one of our patron signers. $20, get your name on it. You know, if we can get 100 people to be a patron signer, that's $2,000 that we're raising. Everything we do increases turnout. I didn't harp on that because we talk about that a lot, but there's nothing to, that is something to be extremely proud of. We win elections by getting more Democrats to the polls, right? And we're the largest county that has done that well. Do you think they're listening to us? Well, they're starting to now, because at our LBJ dinner, we're gonna have the state at our LBJ dinner in Denton, Texas, because they really need to stop and take a lesson from what we're doing and how we work as a team. And that's why we're doing this Project 2026 tour. We're coming here because Robson Rants is part of our team. And not only am I grateful for all of you, but I'm also thankful for the work that you do. And I'm gonna stick around in the back for a little bit, then I'm gonna have to take off, but if you wanna come talk, say hi, we'll be at the LBJ, I'll be dancing. I'm trying my shoes out now to make sure they're comfortable, just to see how, yeah, and get them in. But I appreciate you guys, and thank you guys so much for always being so hospitable and allowing us to come and talk about what we're doing, because we are one team, and even if you don't leave this campus, there are ways to be connected. So thank you so much. You want to show that because it was too derogatory.